All right, it is day 7 and we are at Albuquerque Dragway. So beautiful drive yesterday through the mountains and everything, and hey, a little traffic jam and everything, but it was all awesome. Left us a little cranky last night, but you know what? It's a new morning. Everything's good. Sun's up. There was a 40% chance of rain at 11 last night. That's down to like 6%. So I think we're all good. So D class is going to hit it first. Then we got A, B, then C, then E, try and get everybody a run in because of that rain. But I mean, that may be just out the window. We'll look at the radar and maybe the sessions can go to a normal time. But we'll see. You got Jason fought some steering rack issues on the road last night. So they did get that corrected. They're here ready to go. And you got Jason sitting number 1 and Stanky sitting number 2, I believe. This is the first drag and drive that's actually 6 tracks. So 6 tracks, a 6-track average. Never happened before on a drag and drive. And you know what? Seems like everybody is having a great time. The scenery, like I said, awesome. The areas we're at, and these little, I call them podunk tracks. I mean, they're the big track for the area or whatever, but these are tracks that we don't go to, like that aren't a normal schedule with real fast cars. So it's cool to go to these, run 8th mile. And if you're enjoying the content and everything on this, and you got serious FOMO because you are not here and enjoying it, hey, go get on Expression of Interest, because next year you've got Michigan Miles, which is same type of deal where we're doing like over 1,000 miles in Michigan, going to a lot of little tracks and having a great time. You also had 6 Smokies. So Michigan Miles in August, and in October you got 6 Smokies. So the exact next year for this event, last year was Death Week. This year it's 666. Next year it's 6 Smokies, where we're cruising the Smoky Mountains. We're going through Nashville with these cars, and I mean the Smoky Mountains, what's better? Yesterday we got a mountain drive, so like that one is all about mountain drives, all about the scenery, and man, awesome. And you can't give Luke enough credit. He's the one that dreams up these routes and picks all the checkpoints and stuff like that, and then we go run them, and then I critique them or whatever when we go. So some stuff gets tossed out, some stuff gets kept in, but it's Luke's brainchild on figuring out the little back roads to take. And today's drive, another epic one, because today we go to this one checkpoint that literally is, there must be 1,000 cars there. Now, the guy that owned it and ran it passed away. Since we went there, he wasn't selling anything. Nothing was for sale. So will that stuff be for sale now? Because there was some stuff I had my eye on there that looked really good. And in this New Mexico desert, there's no rust. I mean, everything just weathers perfectly. So there you go. We're on to day 5 of racing, day 7 of driving. We got one more drive day today, and we finish this thing up tomorrow, and we're going to Roswell. So like, I'm telling you that I'm not sure if everybody's going to make it there, because the alien abduction that we incurred, we're not sure how many cars it's going to take out on the way down to Roswell tonight. So you could only see half this crowd here, and the other half could just magically appear at some other point in time. So we'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we continue to work our way closer to that 9 o'clock hour. Once again, as soon as I get an update, at this point, it does look like we're still good to start.
Yeah, the nitrous life. I feel your guys' pain. I know it's about now.
You've been against nitrous since the 90s.
No, actually, we first started out racing nitrous, and then interestingly enough, so we started out racing nitrous way back in the 90s with a nitrous car in Pro Street with a buddy of mine, Jared Warner, and I one day I just said, man, this freaking sucks. There's got to be a better way. I think I should do something with like maybe a centrifugal supercharger. Boost is the way. We got to do this with boost. Bing. Done it ever since.
Ahead of your time, Steve.
Way ahead of my time. So we're here at Albuquerque, and so Bailey just pulled in. He's way down there. He's probably prepping his underpowered, under ability to actually do any tuning on it. He just has to use his foot. I was gonna look around for this little princess shoe, like a little pink shoe, and give it to him as a special thing. Here's your little princess left shoe, or your right shoe, as you're trying to figure out how to stage your car. He's got delicate feet, I hear. It's a strange, really small feet and delicate.
He gets around, he's sort of cat-like.
He's not, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't call it exactly cat-like, but maybe old dog-like. That's, old, little overweight dog. That's
So have you figured anything out about how to best get your car down this track?
Well, we'll see here. I got something turned on that I didn't have turned on before. So if it works, come talk to me about it. If it doesn't, I'll be mad about it. Don't come talk to me about it. How about that?
Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free.
So Ramcharger, we had an eventful day. Luckily, I mean, everything conveniently happened at a good time. Like fuel pump went out when we were going to dinner in Tucamarara or whatever that town's called. So we were able to swap that in the parking lot. We had another one. One of the few spare parts we had, because we heard it didn't sound right a couple days earlier, so went ahead and had them overnight one to the track. So we picked that up in Amarillo, and sure enough, that night is when we had to replace it. So took care of that, and noticed the tire was low, and so with the tire being low, pumped it up and said, maybe all right, and couldn't find anything in the tire. The next morning, dead flat, and then we still couldn't find anything in the tire. Went to a tire store, found out our rim was cracked. So that was probably in the video you guys already saw. If you watched the yesterday video, you can see how that's cracked. We had to find somebody to weld it up. So we didn't get on the road till lunchtime yesterday, but we cruised. I mean, beautiful scenery and everything, and just cruised through. So like here we are this morning, and we're trying to, because there was, as of last night, a chance of rain at 11. That's down to like real low percentage, but we possibly were only going to get a couple laps before the rain. So in our head, we're thinking, how do we get the best consistent time possible, the time that we need to get? Yeah, we're still clueless. So, but we are going to put the base fuel pressure back up. We are going to set everything up and just hope we get lucky with what we do out there. We did in the 23 passes the other day, did learn a lot about the heat soak and how it affected the times and what we had going on there. And I mean, Steve doesn't have the data we now have mentally. Not that we have anything in a computer anywhere. It's kind of just, what does it sound like when it's going to do this? And if the mile per hour starts to drop on the top end because of heat soak, then what can we do to compensate for it at the launch? But the problem is we need multiple runs at the same altitude to try and figure that out. So we're going to just hope for the best and see if we can nail a good number right off the bat, because if we only get a limited number of runs, somehow we got to make them count. And the other day it took us 23 to finally get the number that we needed. So I am hoping, and we started out the day real close. So I do have some stuff with leaving it in auto mode and not going to manual mode, and because it'll shift at a lower shift point. So some things to try and slow it down to see what we can get. And like I said, we'll hope for the best and see what we can do. I was trying to just run a slower pass to have one that for sure could be turned in. I just didn't want it to be that slow. But so I mean, I'll give it more boost at the line and see if I can get closer to that number without going over. Steve, yeah, it's close, but so far away. Guys at starting line are like, man, I don't know how much he sprayed that thing, but like, man, that thing was sprayed hard.
All 100 shot of it, baby. I actually just heated up the bottle, so it was actually at the right pressure.
He's got Kyle logged into his laptop, making changes for him to try and slow him down a little bit. See in the corner there, it says controlled by Kyle. So he's just pressing buttons, acting like he's doing something.
Well, look, you ran too fast, so that's
a good thing for me. I mean, that's the first time I've done that. It is all over the traction control. I just turned this on for today, so that's why I got after it. Stepped up into the 19th century here and actually found a gauge that I could put on here, and I didn't have it for the first pass, but now I'm actually going to do this marginally correct, closer to correct than what I have been. But you know, we came into this whole deal. I didn't plan on getting any little, you know, friendly competition with Bailey. But it's like, no, it's kind of fun, you know. So now all of a sudden it turned into a competition. So I had to get a gauge, something to heat the bottle up with. Got to start looking at stuff more. Now here's Bailey. Looks like he's bringing me up.
If I don't get it as a her, they're going to sit me behind the car and they're going to hold it until my ears bleed.
Are we going up?
And punish me accordingly.
I put my trash control, turned it all on. I have not been running it, but I had that 736 and drive shaft curve, and so I knew everything about the 736 pass. Except that, you know, but now we're at, you know, probably another 3,000 feet higher, so I knew everything about it, and so I just built curves all based on it. Went that 733 on the rev limiter, you know, on the traction control. It's like, oh, okay, cool, sweet. I'm gonna go back. I know exactly where to change it. I changed it, made one wrong thought process, and it drove right into a rev limiter and just pop, and just shut it right down, and then it goes 783. So I think I took that all out. I think I'm gonna be pretty good now. So, and I got bottle pressure.
First run went too slow, 55 or something, and so I came back up and I'm like, all right, well, I'll see what it'll hold to try, because literally the first run I thought with what I did should have been in the 40s, like just based on, you know, I got 50 runs of knowledge now, but just based on that, I would think that that's what it would have been. So I came back and I'm like, well, I'll just pour the coals to it as much as I can, hold it on the starting line to see, but not all the way. And I did get it up there, and then freaking 2 numbers off. It runs a 734. And I'm like, dang. So then obviously they shut down because trying to get everything to run through quick. So this is our first chance to get back up here and debating on what the strategy is. Do I try and go all at it again and see if just I got some heat soak going on that'll slow it down that 2 numbers? Because what I don't want is to just slow it down too much and have a throwaway run, but I also don't want to run too fast. And right now all I got's a 55. At least Steve's got an 83 as his best pass so far that he can turn in. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, the thing was, it was looking like rain before, and it was going to be shortened sessions all round, but it looks like that rain's cleared off now.
Oh yeah, it is 11:15 now. So this was the chance of rain that I guess came a little earlier. Now sun's coming out, so it's actually, yeah, we might get a beautiful day.
So that means someone's going to be hot lapping.
So yeah, well, I'm going to come up as much as I can till I can get a number that I want. So I mean, I'm going to do whatever I can. So I mean, and now it's like having the lead, and like he's got to beat a 4 average right now. So like literally, I mean, that's where you get skewed on it. Like we're ahead, but like those, to gain an average, you got to gain times 5 to beat that. So like it's weird math that I'm not very good at, but I do know just a little faster isn't good enough. To make it up, you got to run at least 5 numbers faster than than what you're trying to gain. So I don't know, but this is day 5, and then we got day 6 wrap up tomorrow. So hopefully we're able to keep this thing tight going into tomorrow and let it all hang out.
What's the prize you're racing for?
Pride of winning. That's it. Just whatever. Winning. That's all. Like, I don't know that there is any prize, because we're not going to win anything. Like all I'm going to win is something that is priceless. Steve lost. I won. That's priceless.
goes too quick, 725 at 95. As he starts to throw the switch at the Trailblazer, a big pop there. 743.
I ran a 7.3669. He went 7.3663. So 3 or 6 10,000ths of a second, 10,000ths of a second different. After that, after the 36 run, we were just, honestly, it just did it for fun. It's like, I'm gonna go out there and see if I can just repeat it or do something and try changing the tune just a little bit, all right, let's try this, and then it just doesn't work. I probably should have left the exact same thing in, and maybe it would have went the exact same thing, or maybe that, who knows, maybe probably would have went a little, just a tick slower. So that's all, just having fun. Went back out there again, thought, okay, let's see, give it one more shot. It's like, screw it, I'm done. Let's go. There's no point in sticking around now. I would have to, I'm hunting for 6,000ths of a second, and this ain't no bracket car, this ain't no, 6,000. I'm happy that this thing has ever gone 736 twice. So 736 with a 1, 736 with a 6. So I'm pretty happy with it. That's my index. So we're splitting.
Hit the road to Roswell.
Hit the road to Roswell. We'll hash this thing out tomorrow.
We hit 73663, and I was all excited, and I was thinking to myself, though, I was curious getting to the timing booth, like it was 736 with a what? And then I saw it was a 6. I was just hoping for an O somehow or whatever, that like definitely it was like an untouchable number, but it wasn't. And as soon as I get back to the pits and I'm like, do I run again or not? And they're like, Steve just ran that same number. I'm like, what the hell? So I go right back to the lanes, and I'm like, well, I got to try and get closer to it. So Steve obviously followed, and I gave it a couple shots, and I just kept going too fast with it. And so I'm going to call that good. Actually, I'm going to call that good because he turned in his time slip. And if he was still going to go, then I still want to turn in my time slip, but I would probably still go because I wouldn't want him to get that perfect number and then me not say I didn't try hard enough. So, but turn in my time slip, get on the road. There's cool checkpoints today. I want to go see them. And we got 219 miles, I think, to wrap this thing up and be not back to where we started, back to where we end. And the aliens come out at night. So I want to try and get there before it gets dark because I want to get there before the aliens come out. So we're going to pack up, hit the road, and get down there. And hey, it's a race tomorrow. So we're like as neck and neck as you can be. But when I say we're neck and neck, but guess who's first? Me. Numero uno. So like he's trying to catch me. So like I'll hit that 736 with a 0 tomorrow. I'll turn that time slip in and I'll let him run all day for an imaginary number that he can never get to. So that's the plan. It won't work out like that, but that's a good plan. So we're on the road. All right, 1952 Nash. The giveaway starts now. Every dollar you spend over on the merch site gets you an entry for this thing. This thing is bad to the bone. It's got an 850 cage in it, so it is a 396 small block, 491 horsepower. It's got a couple hundred shot of nitrous. It's got a Roswell Turbo 400 in it. This thing is ready to go for you. Every dollar you spend over on the merch site gets you an entry for it. Go grab some entries. We were going the mountain route on after Los Alamos, and we come around one of the turns. We were pretty high up, and the steering wheel locked one direction. So I was coming around a U-turn, and I had the wheel cut, and when I went to go straighten it back out, the wheel just stayed cut, and I drove it into the side. Not like a ditch, but we just pulled over, and I stopped it, and we were on a pretty good incline, but we had to pull the whole steering rack out of the car. I thought we broke the rack, and the steering shaft where it goes through the frame was galled, and it was bound up, so we had to pull the steering shaft out, clean it all up. Just minor roadside repairs. It's hard to see, but where the steering shaft goes through the frame there, like I said, a piece of dirt or something probably got stuck in there and just locked it up.
So what's today got in store?
I don't know. He said there might be some rain, so I don't know how many passes they're going to get, but I'm just going to leave the last pass from Amarillo in there and see what that does. The elevation's still high, so we're struggling with that, trying to get the turbo spooled up and stuff, but everyone's going to slow down at the same pace, I bet. So.
Do you remember the horrible brake squeal?
Oh, yeah, I do. The other day when we were driving alongside you, your brakes were squealing so damn loud.
Ungodly squeal. Every competitor in this event is at their wit's end with how bad my brakes were squealing. So I talked to Tom Bailey, and he reached out to Doug Cook, and we were able to get new TBMs delivered to the track yesterday, overnighted. And my God, it's a world of difference. No noise, no brake dust. Couldn't be happier. And really want to thank Doug Cook for going out of his way to get me parts overnighted and on the way. He really supports the drag and drive community. So it's great to have people like that. Good stuff, these new XS3s.
Rick, why do you wrap your tires in plastic?
So we started junior dragster racing a couple years ago. We started treating tires on the junior dragster, and we wrap them, and it really seems to help the compound and keeps them sticky. So I have some secret squirrel traction compound I use on them, and I wrap them up, and that keeps them from drying out in the hot sun as we're cruising from track to track.
But you're like marinating your tires
Yeah,
down
we
the road?
marinate them in some secret squirrel shit, and then we wrap them up, and then they're like super sticky. So when we come out to these tracks, we hopefully can get down.
What's the plan?
Put a good tune in, go down, hopefully run like a low 550 in this altitude, and back up and get on the road.
They're talking about rain.
Yeah, so hopefully we're one and done. So we don't have to, hopefully that's not an equation for us. If we can put the pass down we want and then load up and go.
Rick went a 560, so it's pretty fun going back and forth with him. Our car's been dead even pretty much the whole week, so yeah, we both turned that in, and we're gonna just make the drive and get back to Roswell, because we both have to drive these cars all the way back to Missouri, so we don't want to beat them up too bad. The first one, it made too much boost on the starting line and it spun. I got back in it and went like a 598 or something, but second pass I turned it down and went right down, so that's good. We just have to make a good pass when we get back to Roswell. So I don't know what the conditions are going to be. You know, we're going to have to figure it out. But I want the best average that I can get. You know, I don't want to just do a safety pass. I want to try and run a nice average. Really, I'd like to beat my average from Death Week, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But we'll see. We'll try.
There is weather coming, so we will not keep the lanes open as long as we have.
Last time I saw you at Amarillo, things were looking pretty grim.
Yes,
What's
they
been
were.
happening?
So whenever we cut the oil filter open, you saw that there was a ton of metal. Luckily, it had enough oil pressure to make it to a shop a mile down the road. We had a friend with an engine, a long block that we were able to drop in, luckily. Had a hard time finding the right balancer. Ended up having to put a hub and a different balancer together. There were several times we thought it wasn't going to work. Had to switch from 58X cranks to 24X on my Terminator. That almost didn't work. We don't have the cam sensor plugged in right now. It's on like a batch fire deal. But we are here. So it took us about 12 hours to get the engine swapped. And we got all of 2 hours of sleep before we had to drive. But the engine's in, it's running fine. It's a loner, so we won't be like all out, but we're here and we're gonna finish the week.
Wow, you are really committed to this.
Very committed. There wasn't like a time where I was like, we can't do this. As soon as I saw the metal, I was like, I have to do something. Like, my dad's 2 hours away. I can find something. Now, when the balancer was an issue, I thought we might have been done. And then same thing whenever we're having issues with the ECU. But we pushed through and it was worth it.
15 at 86 miles an hour. Here comes Tony McDonald and Mark. At 86 miles an hour. The burritos are like world famous. Christine Wiegand. The other side. Christine and Eric Wiegand running right hand side. She goes 825. Gonna get there first.
I'm Dale Lewis, Archie Lewis's son. He recently passed away, but we're trying to continue on preserving history. That's about where we're at. We'd like everybody to enjoy this stuff.
And how many vehicles are here, do you know?
Approximately 800. We've never counted them. We were going to count them when we moved them out of Albuquerque, but we lost count. So we get people from all over the world traveling 66, and just lots of interesting people. That's the best part about it, is the people that stop in.
We're sorry to hear about Archie's passing.
Thank you.
What's going to happen to the museum without him?
We're going to try to keep it going and preserve the history. That's the most important thing, is preserving the history. This is the restored cars in here. Some of them are in storage next door, some of them are in storage at the car wash, and all the unrestored, untouched stuff is out back.
Is everything in here drivable?
For the most part, yes.
I have never seen so many trucks and cars. I've never seen so many cars, period. Down there by the track, there's a couple junkyards through there. Massive, massive junkyards. And it's like, this is the perfect place to have them because the cars don't go away. Most of these things, I bet you half the bolts and nuts aren't rusted on. And they've been here for 60 years old plus. Actually, that's probably 70 years old, 70, 80 years old. You get to above Kentucky and everything is destroyed because of salt or whatever they put on roads in the winter. People driving them in the winter, you know, with salt, dirt, or sand or whatever they put on road, chloride. But this is amazing.
Okay, so now we got a hitch ride. Both front rims are broke now. So literally pulled in on flat tires and both front rims are broke. Well, so we found a welder about an hour away. So we got to hitch a ride and fucking weld up some rims again and remount some tires.
There. How far do you have to go? You got another rim? Spare?
Nope. You know an aluminum welder?
No. You haven't welded this one?
Nope. Yeah, it's right there. Let's put that again right there. On the way to Roswell, 2 broke rims. So Google search gives Aiden a Denver phone number, but there's a local guy, Cullen, that fabricates, and he's got a lot of cool Volkswagen stuff here. But he was able to accommodate us and get both rims welded up. So now we just got to go to the tire shop, get them mounted, and then hopefully we're back on the road, and then get back down to Roswell so we can finish this thing up tomorrow. And hey, he said no warranty except the weld's not going to break. So, well, you did say the weld won't break, right?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
Looks good. Oh, right there. Got leaks.
Get some bead sealer.
I do.
Something we can put on the inside of that rim. I guess we got it dismounted and.
Yeah. Yeah, this stuff's a lot thicker than the stuff I normally use.
Try anything at this point. One. Just that one, it looks like. I don't really see anything on this one. All right, so we got the rims fixed, came to coast, and Elijah came in late to get these things. We won't want to show you everything that was done to try and make these things seal up. Actually, we will show you, but hey, all we got to do is try and make it through another 60 miles to Roswell, a couple passes down the track, and then those rims are toast anyway. So, but thanks, man, for coming in.
Yeah, no
Thanks for
problem.
doing it all.